So Miguel, take that one away. I'll hold mine until after you guys are done, because I kind of know where you're at with stuff. But tell us about Holmes and Nunes then.
I'm a Holly Holm fan. I think when you look at her, and I've watched her, since she's, been professional boxing and things like that. I think she's impressive. I think she is, I think she is one of those fighters that meets the threshold of just being a fighter. You don't even have to qualify her as a woman fighter or girl fighter or anything like that. Her techniques are there. She's in both sports. She's been a real warrior. So I think she presents Amanda's toughest challenge because, especially in a situation here where you gave her 3 months to prepare, that's right in Holly Holm's wheelhouse is to come in with a game plan. Now, against Justino where she lost, what Holm doesn't have is she doesn't have, maybe the takeout power or the saturating power that Amanda had and stuff, but she certainly showed that she could stay away from that kind of power. And I think that's what makes it an interesting fight because Amanda's going to have to show more than she's shown in her 2 big fights. It's okay, for Amanda to call herself the GOAT and, for the champ thing to be like that. I think that's all fantastic and good. But Ronda Rousey and Christina Justino were basically easy fights for her. And, with the fact is with Rousey and with Justino, it didn't have to go that way. You got to give Nunes full credit for making the fight go that way. But I think there's going to be a little more sophistication in Holmes' game where she won't be susceptible to that type of fight. If she comes out and wipes out Holmes the way she did the other 2, put her on Mount Rushmore.
Well, I would argue right now when it comes to Nunes, as for women's MMA, she's already the GOAT, and there's no way to even go around it and when I look at this fight, the first thing that stands out to me is they got 4 common opponents and 4 completely different results. They've both fought Miesha Tate, they've both fought Germaine de Randamie, they've both fought Valentina Shevchenko, and they both fought Chris Cyborg. And well, they've actually got 5 common opponents. One of them they both beat in Ronda Rousey. Got to remember that. But when you look at the first 4 I mentioned, Nunes has a win over de Randamie. Nunes has 2 wins over Shevchenko. Nunes knocked out Cyborg. And Nunes flattened Miesha Tate in just a couple minutes. Holly Holm lost all 4 of those girls. So that's the first thing that stands out to me in this fight. And I don't want to sound disrespectful when I made that video that I just made about Holly Holm, and I titled it "The Buster Douglas of MMA" with a question mark. That's not me being disrespectful to Holly Holm because I believe she's a lot better than that. I think that she's a very elite fighter, and something Miguel said right there that I definitely agree with is that I think her defense is her strongest point. She's got that. She's been a professional boxer. She knows how to roll with punches. She's not getting knocked out. She's not getting dropped. I think she arguably won the de Randamie fight. The Shevchenko fight, she was doing well until the later rounds, and that was really before anybody really knew who Shevchenko was. Cyborg she hung tough with, but just didn't have the firepower. My biggest issue with Holm, which I do think this fight will go to a decision, just for the record. I think she'll lose. I'm going to go with Nunes on it. But my biggest issue with Holm in MMA has always been I feel like she's too accustomed to like a 12-round boxing fight because she just doesn't pull the trigger enough. She doesn't fight with enough hesitation. Nothing like she did against Ronda Rousey. Against Ronda Rousey, she was countering brilliantly, but a lot of that had to do with Ronda Rousey was coming at her like a freight train, straight forward, and just walking into strikes. I mean, head straight up in the air. None of her striking techniques were crisp at all. She was so used to just being able to take whatever girls threw at them, cut their movement off, grab a hold of them, and take them down in the clinch. And the first time she got in there with a girl that she could not do that with, who was countering her with crisp, hard strikes as she's moving straight forward into them and cutting angles and not letting her get a hold of them and circling off a clinch really well, she had no answer. It just exposed how much of a big fish in a little pond Ronda Rousey was. She was not that great of an MMA fighter. I said that that she wasn't even that good of a takedown artist. Everybody kept
Nope.
arguing with me about that. She didn't have no blast double leg. She didn't have any, real good single leg. She didn't even really mix up her techniques. She literally came forward with her head straight up in the air, throwing
Yeah.
bombs with her hands that were sloppy and untechnical with her chin straight up in the air, and was able to grab a hold of girls and outmuscle them. And she looked like she just was so much more physical than all the fighters she fought. Holly Holm,
I
and I feel like when Holly's in there with girls that are just as technical as her and just as smart and just as seasoned as her, she sometimes doesn't pull the trigger enough. And that's been my biggest criticism of her. That's what I worry about with Amanda Nunes.
Okay, did you have something to say, Miguel?
Yeah, no, with all due respect, wrestling's not the only takedown art. I mean, the girl's a judo bronze medalist, and, it is judo that she brought to the table, and she did, showed far and away more proficiency than anyone else that we've seen in judo, So I tend to give her takedowns a little bit more credit than Devin did, but other than that, I don't disagree with him. I think I picked Nunes for the fight as well. The problem here is, you always get, the fact is it's almost lined up perfectly here for that. Hey, A beats B, so B beats B. So see that whole thing. It's almost set up for Holm to win this fight, right? And at the end of the day, no matter what, this fight starts standing, and Holm will take her chances with anyone that way. So so we'll see how it goes. If it turns into a boxing match and Nunes doesn't bring some of the other wrinkles and stuff for whatever reason, Holm manages the pace a little bit, she'll probably lose it. In that case, Holm will probably lose the judge's decision because of the inactivity at times, the inability to pull the trigger. But should she be able to do that, Nunes would have a mountain to climb.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say about it. I'm picking Holmes on this, and I might be the only one that sounds like Miguel's picking her too. So I'm picking Holmes on this, and I have from the moment they announced the fight. Excuse me. And here's why. Holly has the same teeth that John Jones has, and I think you could see a really similar fight back to back, because Holly's able to rather than throw a forward teep, she throws that side long kick, but her legs are so long that her reach on Amanda is going to be vastly different on her legs. I was looking for their actual arm reach, and I couldn't find it quickly enough, so I just kind of abandoned mission. But here's what I think is going to happen. Number one, the one thing that I think everybody forgets is that in Holly Holmes' corner is going to be, in my opinion, the greatest MMA coach that there is, and that's Greg Jackson. And he's going to be in the corner. He's going to be telling Holly what to do. He's going to be making adjustments as they go. And I think Amanda's going to come in, and Amanda sort of expects she's going to hit people and they're going to fall down. Holly doesn't necessarily fall down when she gets hit because she's hard to hit because she's so long. She's tall. Her shoulders are broad. She's very strong. She's got strong hips. She's got great placement. She's a tall person. And so, and she's a professional boxer and kickboxer. Amanda is a professional MMA fighter. And I think if Holly plays that right, Amanda will try to come in and take her down. And I think we could see Amanda gas. And I think we could see Holly take her out in the late rounds. I think it'll probably go to a decision. If it does, I think it goes Amanda's way simply because the way Holly fights for a decision, she fights to hang on and stay in rounds and maybe sneak around here or there. And so maybe it goes 3-2 Holly's way, and we can see about that. I don't think we see any rounds where Amanda comes in and just bum rushes Holly and she gets a 10-8 round. So I don't think we have to worry about that. But we could see Holly steal this in a decision from stealing an extra round that they didn't think she stole, or it to be controversial, whatever. But Greg Jackson's in her corner, and he's going to be making adjustments that no one else knows how to make, and that's just a fact. I mean, you can argue it if you want to, but Greg Jackson's an amazing coach, and he's just got a brilliant mind. And Holly listens to him perfectly, like almost like a dog whistle. She obeys his every order, and I think we're gonna see Holly. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think Holly's gonna finish her late because I think Amanda's gonna get tired.
I will say this about Holly. I do think that she's going to be coming into this fight understanding that she's nearing the end of her career and that she's already got some losses on her record and that she's going to need to fight with a little bit more urgency. And I do agree with you about Greg Jackson. I'm not sure anybody who's really followed MMA is going to argue with you about the merits of Greg Jackson as a corner man, as a coach. What him and Mike Winklejohn have had going on down there in New Mexico for a long time is exceptional. They've produced a lot of talent over the years for sure, and been in the corners of everybody from Cerrone to Sanchez to GSP to John Jones to Holly Holm, Michelle Watterson. I mean, the list goes on and on. But so I do think she's going to have to fight with some urgency, but I would be definitely telling her that she better be ready to use Amanda Nunes' aggression against her.
Yeah.
The best thing Holly Holm has going for her, she's an excellent counter striker. And she does know how to counter and cut off angles very well. The problem is that if Amanda starts, because Amanda's going to probably be coming in really confident, knowing that she just ran through Cyborg the way she did, and that she's probably, and she's been up to 45, she's going back down to 35. She's trusting her power. She's got that broad back. She's got huge firepower in both fists. Amanda Nunes does and has for a long time. So she's going to be confident in that. Holly Holm has got to get her to respect her early because Amanda's going to come for her. And if Holly can get her to respect her early and to respect that you're not just going to come in at me, winging shots, I'll counter you, I will crack you. At that point, it becomes a more measured fight. And at that point, Holly does have a chance. Only if she's willing to get in there and fight. She's got to throw her techniques. She can't just be key-eyeing and throwing her same 1-2 high kick and just circling back off and resetting. No, she's got to follow up with those combinations. She's going to have to stay in Amanda's face. She's going to have to constantly, every time Amanda throws that power at her, she's going to have to make her pay. It's a mountain of a fight for both of them. I think Amanda's big problem is going to be adjusting, picking her shots, picking when to use her power. And it wouldn't surprise me if she tries to take it down because she's got an excellent ground game too. So I just, the reason I lean toward Amanda, and I'm not discrediting Holly, I think she's easily one of the best women fighters on the planet. The reason I lean toward her is those Shevchenko fights. Shevchenko, I believe, is. We've seen it, man. Shevchenko might have more of a firm hold on her division than any fighter in the UFC right now. And we know how good she is. It's been shown how good she is when she's not fighting Amanda Nunes. And she arguably won the second fight with Amanda Nunes in a very close fight. In the first fight, Amanda Nunes clearly won. It was only a 3-round fight. She clearly won the first 2 rounds. But in that third round, Shevchenko won it, and she was pulling away. And I remember saying, man, if this was a 5-round fight, it'd be Shevchenko's fight all day. Because that was back when Nunes did tend to have a gas tank issue. She's kind of corrected that over the years. But I wonder if she's gotten so fixated on her power and getting back to her roots where she loves to throw that power, is that going to maintain for 5 rounds? I think it could possibly be a problem, but Holly, the key to this fight is Holly's got to make her pay. Holly has got to get her respect and has got to actually be cracking Amanda in those first couple rounds and make this a fight. She can't just try to go tit for tat. And if she tries to do that and is hesitant to pull the trigger, I think it'll just be another just so decision loss for Holly that she's going to be kicking herself for the next several months. So that's my best analysis I can give on this fight.